got this real nice front half of a Ford Ranger. Very spacious on the inside. Engine and tranny are gone. We've got the bottom 40% of a 2000 Subaru Outback. Engine and transmission are there and still work. The idea is pretty simple. We want another side-by-side. You're sitting on a 2012 Polaris Ranger, but we can't afford another side-by-side. But I do have all this scrap stuff laying around, so we're gonna kind of try to build one. It's the Subaru, the side-by-side project. Now, if at some point or any point during this video, you wanna know why or why not, or shoulda, woulda, coulda, or the way that you would have done it, there's two real important things, and I need you to really pay attention to this. One, why not is a huge part of my decision-making process. And the second thing, and probably the most important, you know, I do what I want. So just get your cop speed. If you remember, the whole reason we were scrapping out the Subaru is all the frame underneath, or the bottom side of the body and the rear subframe are rusted out, gone, rotted. They've left the chat. They're no longer there. Luckily for us, the frame on this Ford Ranger is nice. So we're gonna try to mix and mingle and make one thing out of it. Now I did, air filter's bad. I did get this for free, which is pretty sweet. I saw it sitting down at a fella's shop. His name is also Mike. I said, Mike, what are you doing the front half of that Ford Ranger? He said, I'm taking the engine and tranny and scrapping the rest. I said, I'll pay you scrap price for that Ford Ranger, because it was like a mile from the house. I just take it up here at the tractor. And he said, if you help me get the engine and tranny out, you can just have it. And I said, you got yourself a deal. Frame does look pretty good. Metal's in pretty good shape. Probably start with some basic things like how similar is the size of these rigs. And we're just kind of getting some basic stuff here. Yeah. Got her all covered up like she's a show car. Trying to keep the weather off the crucials. Okay, well, that's close. I think a fella could make something fun out of this. So outside to outside here is 64. You know, I think with a little beating and banging, grinder, welders, and painting, I think we can make some bad decisions together, people. So let's just start here and strip everything back to it. We're not using any of this stuff anyway. I might save that rack and pinion though. Got our bolt holder. I know somebody's gonna ask about, are we gonna try to sell any of the parts off this? And the answer is no. If it were mine and I knew if everything worked and all that, probably. Same thing on that Subaru. I don't really know what was good and what wasn't. I'd hate to sell somebody something, them spend their money on it, and end up being a piece of junk. We're switching back from a 10 to a 7/16 because that makes sense. I will, however, save this plastic container that holds fluid, has a little electronic pump in it. Now that can become in handy for something. I think it's worth saving the blower motor too. Maybe. Oh, sorry. Camera's being a little glitchy today. Kind of makes a fella nervous. Oh, shift cable laying here. We'll do the same thing on this side, strip it back. Get off there. There we go. One windshield washer wiper thing. Must be work on the windshield wiper somehow, I guess. I don't really see anything else in there. I'm thinking we cut it right along there on the outside. I think we need to tear apart the inside and see where that's going to be in there. Oh, somebody already stole all the fuses out of it. Should just be some bolts here on the side and we'll be able to pop that whole dash out, I think. I like to put all my sockets up high, that way when I drop them it's more catastrophic. How many mechanics or Ford Ranger guys are screaming at me? They're right there the whole time under that little piece of plastic. Probably some more on the other side in the same spot. Just want as much access as possible for whenever we go to make this cut. I want to have room to get into everything. I don't want to be fighting it the whole time. Just part of the time. Yep. Okay. I don't know what, but I feel like that could be handy. Yeah. For what, Mike? I don't know. Oh, there you go. Okay. Easy enough. All right. Oh. So that's pretty stripped down. You can, pretty good access. So we can figure out kind of how we want to tie our cuts in. All right. That's looking a lot better. Stuff I want to save over there. Pile of copper, steering wheel, a few random brackets. And then we just got a mix of trash and scrap metal in the back. I'll sort that out down at Mike's place. I want to go ahead and keep taking off. Let's go ahead and keep opening this up some. So we'll go ahead and start taking these body panels off, get the rest of this stuff off, and just get her down to bare frame and cab. save the badge. I think if I cut right through here, cut right along there, take that the rest of the way off. I think we're opened up enough and we can see enough. We can make some good cuts now. Or at least start that process of making some good cuts. So as ridiculous as this is going to sound, I want to be able to cut it so I can use the windshield portion of that cab. 57 1/4. From the edge of that to the edge of this. I don't know if you can see that. It looks like it'll work really well, actually. This is all spot welded on. What I'm thinking is, cut right along there, cut through there, and cut down along that channel. But it's going to be spot welded back here in a few places. Well, it shouldn't matter because we're cutting the top part of that off. I wonder if I should come a little lower right here just to make sure I've got enough meat. I mean, we can always set it over there and then kind of make some marks and trim it as we need. I'd rather have too much than not enough. I went right there, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and pop these door hinges off too. One, I'm gonna save them, but two, they're right where I'm gonna kind of cut. So we'll just get those out of the way real quick. It's cutting time. I'm just going to time lapse you because it's going to take me a little bit to get work through there. I've got to go grab some more batteries from the house, but here's where we're at so far. Right there. All the way around through there. Over here, and I came down. I kind of just cut a section of skin out right there to leave a little tab. I'm hoping I can beat that out and use it to help set it on there just to hold it in place for the time being, like a little Little outside bracket. I don't know if that's gonna work the way I thought it will, but who knows? And then we're all the way around to here, and there to there. So we still got that and that pillar. But I gotta get some batteries. So we were cut all the way around. There's a couple spots like that corner and that corner we gotta finish off with the Sawzall, but I'm not gonna do that just yet. We're cut with the grinder all the way around. A couple places to snip, but we'll leave just a little bit holding there. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get our cut down this back side. My thought process is we're just gonna cut a spark plug. Tell you what, a little bit of mystery oil and she'll come back to life. What a deal. We're just gonna cut right along here. Should I just go ahead and rip all the carpet out the rest of the way? So it looks like we're gonna have to cut a window out. Cut this corner out, make a little window so we can get down and get the very bottom piece too. Okay, now we've got her all opened up. I'm Australian, what happened? Where did I switch countries in frustration? We've got her all peeled back. That should be the bottom layer there. Frame bolts. I'm gonna shave back probably another couple inches and just try to cut as close to that as I can down the back side through there. Probably gotta skin that a little bit as well. I'm waiting for my batteries to charge. I've got 6 batteries I'm cycling through, but 2 chargers, and they're not keeping up, but I've got a new plan on how we're going to cut that. I'll show you in a second. Let's see if we can get this thing fired up though. It didn't start for me the other day. It does run like this. We ran around like this for quite a while. I had a good time the other day with it. But I don't know if it's the ignition. I think it might be some of the ignition barrel, but we're getting ready to find out. Off the hood. There we go. Throw a little life on her. Oh, let's see. Just hook it right to the cables. I think it has something to do with my transmission lock, neutral lock, maybe, safety, neutral safety, something like that. Well, there's a switch, then push it over from park to try to bring it out. You see a little relay right there working? See if we can't just bypass it and let me get out of park here. Well, this is supposed to be an override to get you out of park. But it appears to be stuck. This is it's a little solenoid in here basically, but it is seized. It does not do what it wants to do. That relay up there is probably clicking and trying to tell this to release this, so we can take it out of park. I want to try to, there you go. I want to try to start it in neutral, see if it'll let me start the car in neutral. But this was seized up. Probably has something to do with sitting out in the rain. Who really knows? Okay. Well, give me neutral. I can't start in neutral either. So here's what I'm gonna do next. We'll just keep moving down the problem solving line. Let's see. There's a starter right down here. Let's see if we can pop, yep, that harness off. Oh man, pretty nasty in there. Let's clamp to the ground with the test light. Let's see if the test light works. Test light works. Let's shove this in here. Oh, she is a filthy. I'm thinking I should get some sort of signal on here, and I'm hoping this tells me, you know, if it's making it to the starter or not, power-wise. Be my test light holder. I could be wrong. We could just short something out. Oh, see the light? So the power is getting to the starter to tell the starter to go. That's what I'm getting out of it, right? Isn't that what you guys are seeing? Okay. Okay. Now, well, I feel like we're doing good, except the key is stuck now. Maybe the key is the problem. Oh! Boy, she's in there good. Maybe the key's the problem. Well, the key can't be the problem. We're getting power to it. Just give it a few little shocks, you know? Last thing I want to do is break a mounting bolt or something like that. We'll do a few on the front side if we can get around these hoses. Yep, looks good. The old wackadoo did her. Now, my jump pack is too dead to actually get her to crank over. Maybe, hell, I don't know. Let's give it a... I'm sorry, I got excited. Okay. Let's see if she'll actually give some... Nope, that's embarrassing. Well, the good news is we know she's gonna run. I'll charge the jump pack tonight and tomorrow. Well, whenever I get to it. I'll do it. Look at this rock. I know, you see round rocks every day, but this is the gravel it came out of, okay? This is just crushed limestone. Look at this. It's even got a little blue right there. I don't know what that is, but it's pretty daggone cool. Also, it's distracting. know if it's still attached or just hanging on itself. Let's give her a few beats. She's off the frame, which makes sense. Oh yeah. And that's free. That's free. There's a bracket right there. Oh, holding on by like a 1/16 of an inch. There's a little bracket right there. There, she's free. I'm gonna have to screw some boards on there or something. So I think those are all going to beat out and slide over good enough to hold it for today. The problem we're going to end up having, let's go sit on that lip, which will be fine for now. I just want it up and on there. Then we can kind of go from there. I'm worried about right here. Oh, the fuel line's right there. Dumb place to put your hand. Oh, the fuel line's right there. I don't want to damage any of those. So I think for today, I'm just going to throw some wood blocking underneath that to keep it held up. I think about a point we go ahead and pull the tractor out and play around at the front just a little bit there. Surprisingly stable. Tack it on, boys. She's good to go. Oh, you can see it though, right? I mean, some notching. Well, a whole lot of cutting, really. What do you think? How's she look? She'll come down another foot or so yet. Look how well those A-posts line up together. We'll also use line up pretty loosely too. And then back here, look at this. Would you just look, would you look at it, bud? Look at it. What, they make these at the same plant? Well, we're off a little bit. But I think some cutting, some beating, and some banging. Best part, look at all the material we still have. Look at that sheet metal we could make a little bed out of right here on the back side. Be perfect. Kind of cool. Kind of different. So it's actually a few days later, and I planned on just leaving you here, but I've got to make some marks. I want to scribe some things. I want to take some measurements. I want to go ahead and take the rest of this off that frame so we can look at the frame on the bottom side. There's a couple things I want to do before I leave you hanging for the next video. The next video will be back on this, just so you know. I'd like to get this part somewhat together so I can drive it and pull it into the barn and start cleaning up out here again, because we're going to be back on the YouTube yacht soon. Hopefully the channel's picking up a little bit, and that's what we need for the YouTube yacht project. You can see on the bottom side kind of what we're working with. Here's the fuel lines coming out of the tank. They run right around there, which is going to be in the way of this piece. And you can see my magnetic mount's fighting me over here. You can see where we make contact right there. Also, that's access to the fuel pump. I really want to try to not cover that up, or if I do cover it up, make it in a way that there's still access to it. And there's access here for something too. The other end of the fuel tank, I guess. I'm not sure. Okay. So I need to cut this in a way that it drops and sits down on this panel. Wonder if it wouldn't be best to just notch out where that is. Here's kind of the first cut of what we're looking at. Get us a little closer. We're looking like something. Definitely need to cut that off. Look there. I just didn't plan on working on this at all today. I was working on a whole bunch of other projects, but I had to come over here and just see how that was going to work out in my mind. And I think we're going to be able to get that to work pretty well. Just keep cutting away at it until it sits how we want. Same thing on the front. Just never know when you're going to need an old seatbelt. That'll be perfect for securing that propane tank. And I've already got plans for a lot of the stuff I pulled off of that, especially the hinges. Next video, right back on that project. Hopefully get everything notched and cut away and set down on there, maybe some tacks on there. It might be an ambitious goal, but I'd like to go ahead and try to get that subframe pulled out from underneath it to where we can see if there's a way we can weld it up and kind of get it fixed for running around the property. Hope you guys are enjoying this project. I know I am. We have got some work done on the chicken coop / goat barn, but I'm not putting another video out on that until the chickens are living in it. So until all the little odds and ends get done, you won't see another video on that. That's all I have. I wish I had something more creative to say. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one, I guess.